Welcome back to The Narrative. I'm your storyteller, Clesca Farrier. Well, the tensions continue in Haiti as a provisional government remains uninstalled. The provisional council, which will be tasked with naming a new prime minister and prepare for the arrival of a multinational force, as well as lay the foundation for elections, has been having a bit of a problem, all getting on the same page. Meanwhile, in Haiti, the humanitarian crisis continues, the health sector in shambles, the people going hungry, and no solution yet inside. Whether or not anything has happened overnight, we'll find out now from Monique Clesca, who is part of the Montana Accord, the Montana Agreement, which is an organization that was established 2 years ago to help create a Haitian solution to the Haitian crisis. I will also ask her whether or not the solution that is being attempted right now is really a Haitian solution. Welcome to the program, Monique.
Thank you and welcome. Thank you for having me again. Thank you.
It is good to have you. It's good to see you. And happy Easter to you. Happy Easter season to you, Monique. Now,
yeah, it's been a very difficult Easter, but we continue with the cultural tradition of Rara. So that was a good sign.
Rara, what's that?
Well, Rara is a traditional, particularly peasant kind of celebration, musical celebration that comes around Easter time. And so even last night, there was a huge Rara band going around in my neighborhood, which was fairly unusual given the times.
Mm. Well, it's good to know that at least there's some bit of normalcy somewhere in Haiti. The council, the provisional council that has been established, a 9-member council, not able to come to consensus on a number of issues. Are they any closer to beginning the work that needs to be done, or are they still trying to agree and resolve issues?
Well, I think I must say that the first thing is that, yes, they're still trying to resolve issues. But when you think that you're putting people who are on the left, on the right, on the center, and some of these people are people, some of the groups are people we have been saying have brought us to where we are today, to the catastrophe that we are living today. So it really is not that easy to sit around the table with everyone, even though everyone is extremely civil to each other, but still there are a lot of members who have contributed and worked with Ariel Henry to brought us to where we are today. So yes, we are working. Yes, we are still in it, but yes, we are acknowledging that there are difficulties, and we do not want to go back to where we were before with Ariel Henry or where we were before Ariel Henry. So I think that is the motivating factor that we have. We do not want to have another corrupt regime. And I think CARICOM has to open its eyes to that also. So that is the main issue. And there has been meddling of the international community, whether it is by the French, whether it is by the Americans, and people are calling different people in CARICOM to say, here is what's going on. And I think CARICOM has to put its foot down and say, listen, no more of these parallel talks, etc. So that has all contributed to the problem. But we are at it, and we are of goodwill, and we hope this will work.
Is it that there are signs, there's evidence, information that there's international meddling to determine who these 9 members will be for the Provisional Council? Are they seeking to influence who will be on the council?
Well, before there were 9 members. There are 9 members. Yeah, there are 9 members. There are 2 who are non-voting, but there was one who had stepped out. And from what a lot of us understand, it was international meddling that made him come back. Okay, now he's back. So that has created some issues. Some have stepped away. So it is extremely difficult. Imagine people who were fighting against each other's ideas before and then coming together to say, let us save the country. People just think it can be done in 24 hours. No, it cannot. And the worst part of it is that they were actually thinking of actually electing a president of the council without having a accord. The political accord is step number one. It has to determine what you will do, when you will do it, and how you will do it. So that is something that is extremely important to have. And some of them wanted to be president. So we are in the midst of a presidentitis kind of disease where people think that being president is going to resolve the problem. No, it's not going to resolve the problem. It is essentially what it is that you are going to do. And there are things that we believe need to be done: the humanitarian crisis, the security crisis, a national conference that needs to be done. We need to have a truth and reconciliation commission because justice needs to be done. People have been wronged and they need justice. We also need to set up to have a national conference. And we also need to set up to have an electoral council. So these things are part of an accord. So that was also a major difficulty. They wanted to rush, and some of them, and see a president. But, the president, you have no money. You have about 4,000 people hungry. So rushing to do this really is a nonsense. What is really needed is for us to work together and also for us to break from the corruption of the past. And that is the thing that the Montana Accord is really paying huge attention to. And I think it's something that CARICOM ought to pay attention to, that we do not come back with the same corrupt leaders that we had before under a different umbrella of a council. And I think that is extremely important.
Monique, what is the best way that the Montana Accord sees for Haiti to avoid the same political corrupt style of doing things that has persisted? What are you suggesting? You speak of a political accord that must be established, a sort of working paper for moving forward for the council to move forward. What is your organization suggesting is the critical ingredient for changing politics as usual in Haiti to move forward?
Well, the first critical thing is to have a political accord. Says what I just mentioned in terms of the fact that we will have a Truth and Justice Commission, we will have a national conference so that Haitians from wherever they are can actually speak and of their vision for Haiti in the short term as well as in the medium to long term. And also an electoral council that is above reproach and that it signals some values, non-corruption, values that people have to adhere to. And these are some things that are extremely important. And what is going to be done for security? What is going to be done to resolve the humanitarian issue? And I think these are the huge things. And a break from the past. It cannot be the same people who were in power. That's what we've been fighting for. To have change, to break from the corruption, break from the criminal regime. But, we need to make sure that they are not the ones who are in power who are fighting to be president, fighting to make money or to steal money, etc. And these are things that we are extremely serious about. And, this is not a threat. But if things do not go in a way that signals a break, that signals that change will be made, then we can step away. We don't want to do that, but if it's more of the same, then we will just say thank you very much, but we cannot be part of this.
But how do you avoid, though? How do you avoid if the same people are coming back into this council who are part of the problem and they're coming with the same agenda, the same ideology, the same beliefs? How do you avoid going down that slippery slope again of corruption and bad government and bad governance for Haiti? Because the
Well, I
people who
think we
created the
avoid it
problem are
first
now being
is
asked to lead the solution.
okay. I think we avoid it by first being aware of it, and we are, by making sure that others are aware of it. And me speaking to you, the storyteller, in the narrative is a way to do it. Speaking to the CARICOM leaders to make sure that they are aware that there is a threat that is looming like this, and talking to the population and letting the population know that there is a huge risk that this may happen, and then having a kind of accord that is a firewall, and we know what the red lines are. So I think these are the things that are extremely important, not pretending that there is not a threat, but making sure that you have mitigation measures like an accord that stipulates what must be done so that people don't say, well, we didn't know, we did not know. And to make sure that the population knows that there must be change because the population has asked for change, has demanded change. A lot have died for change. So this is what we are doing now, speaking out, making sure there is an accord that stipulates what must be in it, and fighting with all our might so that people who have maybe checkered past do not come and rule the country once again under an umbrella of a provisional presidential council. And we need that CARICOM know this, and we are making sure that CARICOM is knowing that there is a threat to this, and our other international partners also.
And has CARICOM responded in any way to this awareness that has been raised of the threat of doing business as usual if you're not careful because of the players on the Provisional Council? Has CARICOM responded? Have they acknowledged this?
Well, I think that is a question best asked of CARICOM leaders. What we know is we have let them know, and we know that we are in resistance mode. And I think it's an important thing to signal because in the beginning we were talking about the Rara bands who were in the streets, but Haitians are resisting this assault also on our well-being. There are neighborhood watch groups. There are WhatsApp groups for neighborhoods, and people have put up barricades. And when there were a lot of gangs, I think 4 gang leaders who were actually killed last week, and the population is reacting to this, and the population is watching. And even this weekend there were 2 people who were killed, one of them a policeman, because they had a lot of money and people suspected that they were going to buy arms and munition in the Dominican border. So I think that is something that must be highlighted, the fact that Haitians are resisting the assault on them, on their lives, on their neighborhoods. And we are resisting in little ways, but in little ways that matter, because we're organizing in our neighborhood in watch committees, whether they be WhatsApp groups, whether they be real, whether they are at night, whether they are in the day, filtering who comes into those neighborhoods. And I think that is something that really we identify with that. We are resistors, and we are resisting the gang assault and also the assault of criminal elements who maybe are in ties and suits. And this is what I've been saying. So we are resisting and telling the population to have its eyes open.
Now, on the nine-member Provisional Presidential Council, the interfaith representative and the civil society representative, no, they do not have voting rights. I believe the interfaith representative, they are making a fuss. They're insisting that they would like to be able to vote and may exit the arrangement if they can't vote. Is that an arrangement that you are comfortable with, that civil society and interfaith organizations do not have a vote on this council? It seems to be the political elements who will have the voting power.
Okay, let me correct you on a couple of things. First of all, the Montana Accord represents civil society. So we are a voting member of this. So that is one thing. The other thing, in terms of the civil society, what had happened is the following. When Petit Dessalines, which is a political party, had said it was not interested in going in, the civil society interfaith came in because CARICOM told them they would replace the Petit Dessalines political party. Therefore, they had the understanding that they would replace that party and they would have voting rights. Now, after some international meddling, this political party came back and said, "Oh, here I am. By the way, I'm coming back." And then CARICOM told that civil society interfaith, "Excuse yourself, let me make space for this political party." So I think CARICOM must also assume some responsibility for what has happened, for the confusion, and for not having resolved that issue. So I think that is on CARICOM's back, that there was this confusion. So the interfaith then said, "Well, wait a minute. 2 weeks ago, you said I could come in and I could be a voting party. Now that so-and-so has changed his mind, you're telling me I can no longer be a voting party. So I'm out of here." So the confusion was sowed by CARICOM. The confusion was not managed properly by CARICOM, and they stepped out because they were told they could be a voting party. So CARICOM changed its mind. So I believe that the civil society group, I understand their frustration, and we are in solidarity with them, and we put the responsibility squarely on CARICOM's back. Those who said you can come in and vote, and then they're the ones afterwards who said, "Well, sorry, you must get out and no longer be a voting member." So that is the honest goodness truth. And so I understand them. And then there is another, they have been replaced. The gentleman who was there at the time has been replaced by the interfaith. And there is another civil society human rights organization that CARICOM named. And so there are two non-voting members who are from civil society, and there is the Montana group, which is a voting member from civil society.
Okay, and who is your representative within the council, the provisional council right now, Monique?
Our representative is an economist called Fritz Jean, who used to be governor of the central bank.
But even with a political accord, though, after this council is formed, the next thing would be to deal with the humanitarian problems in Haiti and the security problems. How do you tackle that without international meddling, though?
Well, in a way, and I know you don't mean it that way, it is a disrespectful question. How does your country handle security and humanitarian without international meddling? And I think that expression, meddling, is the one we reject. Every country has partners. Every country is sovereign and has a right to decide the partners that it wants to have and has a right to decide the kind of partnership it needs. So I think there is a huge difference between international meddling and having international partners who are helping you. I don't accept that kind of question. How will Haiti handle this without international meddling? Would that question be asked of Ukraine, of Israel, of Jamaica? No, it would not. So I resent this kind of question. Having said
But
this, no, excuse me. Having said this, what I will say is what I really reject is the word meddling. Meddling means that you are putting your mouth where it should not be. Meddling is you're telling us what to do. And this is what we are rejecting. We are a sovereign country. Yes, we have issues. Yes, we have problems with security. Jamaica has almost problems with security with the gangs, etc. Other countries do. Now, what we need are partnerships. We do not want meddlers. We want partners. We want people who will sit with us rather than sit in the State Department and sit with us and we say, these are the issues we have. And this is what our past leaders have not done. And this is the break that we want. We want to be able to sit with our partners and discuss what needs to be done. There are huge, phenomenal, astronomical issues that we have to deal with in terms of security and in terms of the humanitarian crisis, whether it be displaced people, whether it be girls and women who have been raped, whether it be the people close to 1/3 of the population that is going hungry. Yes, we will need the support of our partners, of our friends in CARICOM and in Latin
Monique,
America,
in
CELAC,
these
etc. But we
in
do not want meddlers.
in these things, and the United States, while the United States is at the table in this conversation, international countries are at the table in this conversation on a solution for Haiti. Even countries like Jamaica or my own country, when you sit at the table with these, they have their conditions, especially because you are not sitting at the table as equals in a material sense. And so, because Haiti is in need of partners to support it at this time and to help it out of a serious crisis that is affecting its people, there may be conditions that international partners that you get may want to apply to whatever assistance they give. How do you resist that?
Well, I think there is a difference between conditions of an agreement and meddling. Conditions of an agreement, it's always, I mean, even if you sign a contract, you who signed a contract with the media, of course there are conditions. Everybody, there are always conditions. What we are saying is that those conditions must not be dictated. Those conditions must be agreed upon by both parties. So that is the difference. We do not want meddlers to tell us this is what you must do, this is what you must do. And there are reasons for that. First of all, because we are a proud, independent country. And I think that must be respected. We may be having problems, but that doesn't mean that we are proud and we are begging. No, we are not begging, not at all. And secondly, it is because the international community with its meddling brought us 10,000 deaths from cholera. They brought us so many babies, MINUSA babies, kids who are the result of a gender-based violence by the international soldiers. And because they have brought us here to our knees, the international community, including the eminent persons group with your former prime minister, who were insisting that Ariel Henry, despite his hands being in blood, must be part of the solution. So this is what we're saying. No, we do not want people to tell us what to do. We may have issues with what we're doing, but they must be resolved by us with our partners.
Scott, thank you so much for joining me on The Narrative. I look forward to having you back, and certainly wish all the best to Haiti, that a solution can be found soon so that the people of Haiti can have some ease in their lives. And of course, we always recall and remember Haiti, 1804, first regional country to claim its independence, and an example to us all in the region. She has always been. Thank you.
Yeah. And thank you so much, really, for the solidarity. And it has been solidarity throughout Haiti's lifespan. And we are fighting, we are resisting, and we are in a fighting mode. Thank you to change this so Haiti can go forward and the population can have a break from these criminals who are ruining our lives. Thank you so much.
This is The Narrative. I'm your storyteller, Clesca Farrier, on there with Monique Clesca from the Montana Agreement. They are part of the 9-member Provisional Presidential Council that has been established. They're one of the 7 voting members that has been established to move forward to help with the establishment of a multinational force in Haiti, as well as to create a path for elections sometime down the road. More when we come back.